It's big dog season, and you can't stay still because you want it. Talk that talk, George. You still scraping your plate because you're hungry. Talk that talk.
Well, they invested with who they believed was an Atlanta real estate pro, but don't know what happened to their money after.
Wow, and Channel 2 consumer investigator Justin Gray with us on this. So Justin, you talked to some investors who have similar stories here.
And Justin, of course, there are no guarantees a real estate investment is going to pay out profits, but these investors say this is more than just a bad investment.
If you want to present the opportunity for everyone to come in and make 100, 150, maybe 200 grand over the next 18 months just by flipping properties.
Ben Lee recorded parts of Duron Dimmock's real estate pitch on base at Fort Campbell in Kentucky.
I was really impressed by what he was saying. I mean, he was really good.
Like the market was crazy.
As Lee was preparing to leave the Army, the investment opportunity sounded enticing.
So I just took a leap of faith.
He paid a $5,000 coaching fee to get started and invested another $15,000. But you don't have to go to one of Dimmock's in-person presentations.
The problem is that you're complacent and you're okay with where you are in life.
The Atlanta real estate investor also pitches on social media.
He knows how to talk.
Daphne Bonilla first met Dimmock on an Atlanta movie set. She invested $20,000 with him.
So the agreement was that I would get a minimum of 20% of my investment within 90 days after the commencement of this project.
I knew Duron from high school.
Eartha and Zuri Farngallo were living in New York, but turned to Dimmock because they wanted to flip houses here in Atlanta.
So we really leapt at this opportunity for someone who presented themselves as an expert in this area to be able to do that from afar.
You gave him $30,000. What do you have to show for it?
Nothing.
The Farngallos, Ben Lee, and Daphne Bonilla all had similar reasons for wanting to invest, and all are in a similar spot now.
I was in communication with him and his assistant for the whole time until he stopped responding.
He started sort of ghosting me. He stopped answering. He would make excuses.
We never saw a property. We never got any details.
Yeah, everything is in, but
Duron Dimmock agreed to speak to me by Zoom as he checked in on work at an Atlanta property he's renovating.
you can't have the success that I have. You can't accomplish the things that I've accomplished by stealing from people.
Dimmock says skyrocketing interest rates and inflation changed the business overnight as these investors were looking for a quick return.
Materials went up, things went up. It just happened. I almost lost everything.
And he showed me his contract that states right at the top, client understands that the real estate market may change unexpectedly, rendering some or all the information provided by the consultant null and void.
People who invest and want the quick return, they don't understand that process.
The Farngallos don't buy that argument. Their attorney says $10,000 of what they're fighting for was a wire transfer. For their initial investment, Dimmock wanted faster, so they sent a second time through Venmo.
You send it to me that way, it's going to take too long. Send it to me the faster digital method, and I'll return the wire transfer to you, and it just never happened.
Do you owe them $10,000? Does somebody owe them $10,000?
GWP owes them $10,000. Yes.
Dimmock claims it's the LLC, GWP Consulting, that owes the money, not him. His company is GWP Holdings. Both companies are listed as dissolved on the Secretary of State Registry. Dimmock says Daphne Bonilla's money is still invested in a project that is not completed.
The only remedy is just give me a little bit more time. I can get it worked out.
As for Ben Lee,
I'll tell you straight up, Ben Lee is an honest guy. Ben Lee is going to be made whole.
Lee says he's heard that before.
They gave me all of these dates saying that I would get a payment to do payment arrangements, but every time the date would come, nobody would answer.
We certainly don't have a property. I think that's the most hurtful part of this, right? This is $30,000 that we could have invested in the market. We could have invested in an actual property.
Now, Dimmock claims the Farngallos backed out of 3 projects and lost earnest money because of it. But in a default judgment, a Cobb court ordered GWB Consulting to pay the Farngallos $30 grand plus attorney fees. They haven't seen a dime of that money, and they are suing Dimmock directly as well. That case is still open, as are separate lawsuits by both of the other people we talked to today.
So, Justin, is there something people looking to invest can do to keep out of something like this?
It's one of those things that's not rocket science, right? You got to do your research. All three investors we talked to said the same thing. They wish they had done more on the front end, but the thing was, they went with somebody they trusted.
Good morning. Today is Tuesday. It's July 16th. The year is 2024. Today is one of them days I just want to go back upstairs and get back in bed. It's already pretty warm outside. I just turned the air on. I don't know. I was hungry. I went and got breakfast. Normally I cook breakfast. This morning I said I'm going to McDonald's. And I got me some breakfast. Yeah, I made some coffee. I got some workers down in the basement. Once again, there's a bedroom in the basement downstairs that had some issues with it. This house was built in the 70s. So that bedroom in the basement, nice big room, but it was so dated down there, I decided to go ahead and just gut it and remove all the paneling and the drop ceiling. You just rip all that stuff out and go back with sheetrock and paint and new electrical down there to brighten up that space. The drop ceiling made the room seem short. Now with the drop ceiling removed, the room seems much taller. That room probably gained about 3 or 4 feet more. It just seems a lot more nicer than, but it's gonna require some painting and electrical stuff. So I negotiated over the weekend with several of the workers who are down there working on it now. It should be completed in a day or so. It shouldn't take very long to do that. I was going to change the flooring, but now that the room with that drop ceiling removed and it just seems brighter, the flooring might actually be okay. So we'll see. Home renovations are costly. When you're trying to flip a house, it can be very expensive. I've did investment properties for years. I've purchased homes, renovated them, and put them back on the market for sale. That's a very tough industry. A lot of con artists in real estate because everybody seems to think I'm going to get rich flipping houses. We can make all this money flipping houses. You can make money flipping houses if you're buying the house on your own and renovating it on your own. But when you go in there as an investor who's not actively involved with the ownership of the home, meaning you're not renovating it, you didn't find the house, you didn't do the numbers on the house. I found this house I'm living in. I did my numbers on this house. I did my research on this house. I did the renovation on this house. I paid where there was no person in the middle more than when I did find that somebody was in the middle, I got rid of their asses. I would never, ever suggest to anyone to give your money to somebody who's going to invest that money into real estate investments and promise you a return of XYZ. Because most likely it is a scam. This has been going on forever. Long before social media existed. When I was building and renovating houses back in the 90s, there were people running around here scamming people. Everybody's looking for a fast way to invest and make a quick return on their money. It doesn't work that way. It just opens the door for you to get scammed and your money taken from you. People have got to start using common sense when it comes to these types of stuff. I'd rather take $30,000 and sit it in my bank account and let it sit there and rot before I gave it to a person who's supposed to invest his money into something and I get nothing in return. Lose my entire $30,000. I have seen these types of investors dating back to at least when I moved to Atlanta. Atlanta is filled with con artists here. There are so many scams, and not just Atlanta, they're everywhere. They're worldwide now. They're everywhere. You have to be very, very careful of the people you get in bed with, especially if somebody's asking you for cash. Repeatedly ask you to send money. That's a red flag. I don't even think it's possible to even make money off real estate with someone else involved in the transaction. I just don't see how it's possible because people are just so greedy these days. Home real estate, the real estate is so expensive these days. You're paying so much for the land or the house to renovate. You're paying a lot of money for these workers to come in. You're paying a lot of money for the materials. It's just, how do you make a profit? You'd have to sell this stuff for outrageous amounts of money. There are so many con artists on Instagram and Facebook taking people's money, claiming that they are investing in, what happened here? The fire alarm going off. I think down there flew that alarm. But there's so many people who take people's money and pretend as if they are investing in real estate, knowing they have no intentions of doing the right thing with those people's money. In essence, they take the people's money to finish the projects they're trying to work on because they didn't ran out of money themselves. There's another guy on Instagram here in Atlanta who's building these multi-million-dollar contemporary style homes. He's doing the same scam. And eventually is going to be exposed. When I contacted him about some real estate, I thought maybe he had some houses for sale. When he told me he was trying to do, I knew immediately this is a scam. I never spoke to him again. I reached out to him through social media because I thought he had a house for sale. I wanted to know what the price of the home was and where it was located at. If the house wasn't for sale, he was looking for investors to help him buy the house so he can build some multi-million-dollar contemporary house there. And he would give you a return on your money. If you will, you put in $100,000, you make this much back. I looked at the messages and I said, okay, this man must be on crack. He's smoking some good damn dope because I'm not doing this. But he obviously has been doing this with multiple people because he's now working on, it's almost like a Ponzi scheme. You bring in investors, you buy the house, you renovate it, you sell it, you make a profit, you take your money, then you take more money. But you got to keep buying and renovating to return the profit to these people. It is a Ponzi scheme. Just you buying real estate and investing in it. I've seen this stuff. I know how this stuff works. And social media has a way of tricking people into thinking these people are so successful. I don't know what it is about the internet and social media, or just the internet period. People think when you log on and somebody has a presence on social media or internet that they're just this guru on. You could be dirt poor, living in a shanty, but you can arrange a room in that house to make it look like you living in a mansion. Or you might go and just sit outside somebody's house and do videos. There's so much bullshit going on with social media. How can you trust somebody with your money? I told you about I had an attorney scam me out of $100,000 back in 2003. I've learned a lot from that experience, and we didn't have social media then. This was a well-known attorney who I thought was a decent person. Turned out he was just a thief and a crook like all the rest of them. I let another attorney say, hey, this man is investing people's money. You might want to check him out. He's really, while you're making good money over here, you might want to see. That guy led me to him, which is how the situation transpired. What I learned from that experience, you don't trust anybody with your money but yourself. The only person who I trust with my money is me. Me, myself, and I. That's it. Nobody else. People are just so. Yeah, I'm just trying to think of the words to describe how people are today. They're just horrible when it comes to money. They've been doing it for years. They're gonna steal your money. If you're interested in doing home investments, when I started renovating houses, I rode around in the back seat of a real estate agent's car for months, going on maybe a year before I bought my first investment property. I had researched everything, the area, the whole. I just did so much research. with very limited access to the internet back then. This was in the 90s. I bought my first house in 1993. I was 23 years of age. The way you learn anything is almost like an apprenticeship, going into an apprenticeship, sitting around somebody, sitting around listening, learning. I never gave anyone any money to learn, to get the information I learned. They never asked me for any money. If somebody's asking for money, something's wrong. The people who showed me how to do real estate, that took the time to educate on me, they never asked me for one red penny. They didn't ask me for anything. They didn't ask me for $500. I'm gonna show you how. They didn't ask me for nothing, but they were willing to sit down and show me what to do. They were willing to give me, and I was willing to listen. That's another thing too. I couldn't have been all over the place. I realized if I'm going to do real estate, I need to sit here and focus on this. Real estate, investment, buying. They didn't even have to turn flip back then. Renovate. I had to focus on that, laser focus on it myself. I found my own houses to purchase. I found my own contractors to renovate the houses. I brought my own materials. I didn't have anyone in the middle. I took care of everything myself after listening to what other people getting other. And if I had questions about something that was going on in my project, I would call someone and ask them, and they would give me their opinion and then tell me, try this, try that. They still didn't ask me for any money. Not a nickel. I've had people approach me about wanting me to help them with real estate. If I have the time, I'm not charging you to learn how to do real estate. I don't think this is the right time to be flipping houses unless you got a lot of money, because you're going to pay a lot for these houses. In order to flip a house in this market, you're going to have to pay a lot of money for that house. You're going to pay a lot for those materials. You're going to pay a lot for them contractors in there. You're going to pay a lot for the mortgage payments. Interest rates are higher. You're going to pay a lot, so that means the house has to sell for a whole lot more money. The risk is greater. That's why I'm not running around saying, I'm going to renovate and flip houses. No, what's the point of that? That's going to be a disaster. That's why these people are on Instagram and Facebook saying, come, join me, come, give me your money, 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 money, because they need the money to keep these projects going. Because financially, they in a hole. I get what they're doing. Yeah, there's a lot to learn about real estate that you all, I could literally do videos for hours about real estate. There's so much, and there's so much bullshit involved in it. You might think a house sold for $3.5 million, but it really didn't sell for $3.5 million. On paper, the contract, the sales car, everything says $3.5 million. That's not what that house sold for. You gotta look at the other numbers. The under the table numbers that you don't know exist. So when I looked at, let's take that $3.5 million.
He made a $5,000.
Let's take, somebody tells you that they sold a house for $3.5 million. Which I already know is funny numbers any damn way. $3.5 million in Atlanta, come on now. Right off the rip, more than likely they worked out that person's down payment. So what's 20% of that? $700,000. $700,000 of that $3.5 million is bogus. It never existed. Never existed. You're probably like, what do you mean it didn't exist? It's not. It's phony. It's fake. See, I can go into greater detail about this type of stuff. These multi-million-dollar houses, you can create a lot of room for fraud, especially if it's $2, $3, $4, $5, $6 million. If it can appraise for that, which sometimes they can, sometimes they can't. But there's a whole lot of fraudulent shit going on with these sales prices on a lot of these houses. They're not what they sell. What you think it sold for, it really didn't sell for that. There's always some type of creativity going on in the background, what they call it. I'd be very careful. So this investor who was telling me he had all these homes that had sold for all this money, Again, I reached out to him because I thought he had a house for sale. I was curious where it was, but he was flipping. He was buying homes, building these massive $3, $4, $5 million houses, $6 million homes, and selling them using investors' money. You can invest in his little Ponzi scheme. I call it a Ponzi scheme because I know what it is. Yeah, there are no quick rich schemes out there. It just don't exist. In this market, I would be very, very, very extremely careful about investing in real estate with other investors because you're going to lose everything. Because people are so greedy, they're going to steal the money. They're not, there's so many ways that they can fraudulently do this stuff. The transactions, the sales price, the construction loan, there's so much stuff. You cannot trust these people. The lenders, everybody trying to get a piece of the pie. And you're going to end up shortchanged. You're going to end up losing it all. Can you buy, build, and renovate houses in this market? Sure you can. But I wouldn't get involved with nobody. Do it on your own. On my own, that's the way it was supposed to be. On my own. I want y'all to listen to Patti LaBelle, that great song by Patti LaBelle, and I forget that other white guy, Michael McDonald. Listen to it and play it. Because you all are trying to do something with other investors, you're going to lose every damn thing. You're going to be on Channel 2 News. I didn't see these investments go sour in Chicago, on the news, Detroit, Florida, Texas. What else did I see? I want to say Los Angeles, too. All these major cities where people, unfortunately, black people, gave somebody their money trusting these niggas. Monster, why you always use that word nigga in your videos? I don't like that word. I bet you don't. How's Trump's ear? Anybody? Hey, how's he doing over there? He's still alive. I thought that issue would have been resolved. Damn. Still deal with that motherfucker. Came so close though. No success. Anyway, y'all, I know a lot of you all. I watch these videos and I watch where these people get burnt by these people, and I sit back and say, wow. But after you have been through something like that, it's not going to happen to you again. I can assure you, I'm not giving no attorney $5 of my money. I'm going to flip your $5 to 10. I'd rather take my $5 like I did this morning and go up to McDonald's and get me 2 for $1. What did I get? I got 2 biscuits. I got the McMuffin, sausage, egg, and cheese McMuffin, $5. That's what I'd rather do that. Do not trust these people with your money. If you want to learn how to do real estate, take the time and learn how to do it on your own. Ask questions. Find somebody who's willing to mentor you, that's not asking for your money. If I had the time, I thought about doing some classes over here where I could show people how to invest in real estate, but my biggest concern right now is the cost of real estate is so expensive. This might not be the time for people who are not acclimated to buying expensive houses. You may get in too deep and you may drown, and then you'll be looking at me, Walter, that. You ain't be saying Walter said shit, because I'm telling you, this shit is expensive. If you ain't planning on living and sleeping in that motherfucker, I'm doing over here, I'm sleeping here every night, turn it, I find that air getting kicked in. I don't know what I did I woke up this morning, the house was cool. I don't know why I do that nighttime. I turn the air off or turn it down or something. I guess we all do that. And then as the house starts to heat up, you got to get ahead of the air conditioning unit. And when I got up this morning, I should immediately turn that air on. It start cooling. Why is this thing saying off? That's crazy. Is this off too? I thought I turned this stuff on. Maybe the app is not up to par. I'll tell you one thing. Yeah, now they kicking on. That was weird. I thought I turned that stuff on. I guess I didn't. I'm sitting there like, why is this air conditioner not? Anyway, I want to go back upstairs and get back in bed. Last night I took some Benadryl. My allergies kind of kicking up. I said, let me take some Benadryl. I took my ass to sleep, and that damn Benadryl still got me over here kind of drowsy. And I got to take these dogs out. They still in there. I just look in their cage. They in there sleep too. Gave them a little Benadryl too. They eat on this and the butt. But I'm going to finish up this video and take them out. Y'all be careful out here. Sometimes, if you don't, you better off just keep your money in your bank account or figuring it out on your own. If you live in New York, you live in New York City, what the fuck are you doing and looking at houses in Atlanta to renovate and resell? Are you planning on moving to Atlanta to renovate and resell the house yourself? I've never understood these out-of-state and out-of-country investors who fly in, then they're going to drop off some money and then fly back and pick up a check and then voila, I'm done. It'll never work, y'all. The New York folks that were living in different states, they should have came to Atlanta, rented an apartment, set up a home base here in Atlanta, began scouring around looking for houses, getting to know the neighborhoods, trying to find something, making sure you know your numbers. And that's the thing about coming from a different state. How do you know these numbers? Because I live here in Atlanta and I don't know these numbers. You know, these numbers can be kind of complicated in certain neighborhoods. You got comps all over the damn place. And you don't know what it really sold for. Then you're paying a lot of money for these houses. This is not the time to be doing flipping houses. I just don't see that, especially if you've never done it before. I'd be very cautious in this market. Can it be done? Yeah, it can be done. Yes, it can be done. I'd be very careful because you can lose everything fooling around in this market. Because the interest rates are high, the houses are high, everything's expensive. This may not be the time to do that. That's just my thoughts on this. And I think a lot of these investors might have started off doing the right thing, and then they ran into a brick wall, and then they start hustling people for money to try to get their projects finished. That's why I said be careful. This may not be the time to do real estate investments unless you get it for a damn good deal and there is no middleman involved. Giving somebody your money on the pretense that they're going to flip your money has been a scam since 1972. It ain't worth it. Keep your money in your bank account. Figure out how to do it on your own. Do not trust these fancy people on Instagram, Facebook, social media, websites. Don't listen to their asses. They just thieves and crooks trying to take your money. Keep it in your own bank account. If you know like I know. These are just my thoughts and opinions. Y'all can do what the fuck y'all want to do. You're going to do it any damn way. Some people, I remember years ago, my mother called me and said, Watson, you know, so-and-so needs this a van. One of my nieces and nephews needed a van. My nieces. And this African guy had this van he wanted to sell her. I said, Mama, let me look at the van. Do not give that man any money. Don't do anything. Let me take care of that the next day. I said, do not give this man any money. I know y'all got the money over there. Y'all just itching to spend it. Don't do nothing. Well, my mother did it anyway. She gave the man the money. He didn't have the title to the vehicle. So then now they bought the car, gave the man his cash. He didn't buy the vehicle. They dropped it off and ran. No title. How you going to put the... I thought I told her, do not do that. She did it any damn way. So... I would tell my mother from time to time a lot of stuff. Do not do this. She would do it any damn way, and she always got scammed. Now Jesus gonna take care of it. I said, okay. I can tell y'all so many times my mother got scammed out of bullshit, and it just was ridiculous because she just wouldn't listen. She wouldn't listen. So some of y'all are watching this video right now. about to wire $10,000 to somebody, some con artist. And y'all gonna hit that button and send that money any damn way. After you've been warned, don't do it. You're gonna do it any damn way. I've seen people get conned over real estate. There's this con going around. They were trying to help this guy. This guy was trying to help people open up these stores to sell hair products and stuff. It's so many scams out here today. Keep your money in your bank account. You don't need somebody to do what. If you want to open up a store, go open up a store on your own. You don't need these con artists that's going to promise you the world. If they promising you to make all this money, it is a scam. You don't need them. Do it on your own. Figure it out on your own. That's your best bet. Anybody ask you for money to do shit, leave this. Don't even call them back. Leave them alone. They're just con artists, and they're gonna steal your money. Today is Tuesday, July 16th, the year 2024. I'm out of here. You all have a great day.